The disintegration of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the exit of the Ottoman Empire from World War I were significant events that marked the end of the war and the beginning of a new era in Europe. These events had far-reaching consequences for the political and social structures of the region and paved the way for the rise of new nation-states. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was a multi-ethnic empire that had been in decline for several decades before the outbreak of World War I. The empire was beset by ethnic tension, economic stagnation, and political instability. The outbreak of war in 1914 only exacerbated these problems, as the empire was unable to support the war effort and suffered a series of devastating defeats. As the war dragged on, ethnic tensions within the empire began to boil over. The various ethnic groups that made up the empire began to demand greater autonomy, in some cases, independence. The government was unable to respond to these demands, and the empire began to unravel. In October 1918, the Czechs and Slovaks declared their independence from the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and other ethnic groups soon followed suit. The empire was unable to hold on to its territories, and by the end of the war, it had disintegrated into a series of new nation-states. The exit of the Ottoman Empire from World War I was another significant event that marked the end of the war. The Ottoman Empire had entered the war on the side of the Central Powers, hoping to regain lost territory and strengthen its position in the region. However, the Ottoman Empire was ill-equipped to fight a modern war and suffered a series of defeats. The war also exacerbated ethnic tensions within the Ottoman Empire. The empire was home to a number of different ethnic and religious groups, and many of these groups began to demand greater autonomy or independence. The Ottoman government was unable to respond to these demands, and the empire began to unravel. In 1917, the Ottoman Empire suffered a major defeat at the hands of the British in the Battle of Gaza. This defeat, combined with the deteriorating economic and political situation within the empire, led to widespread unrest and rebellion. In October 1918, the Ottoman Empire signed an armistice with the Allies, effectively ending its involvement in the war. The empire was forced to cede much of its territory to the Allies and was placed under the control of the Allied powers. The disintegration of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the exit of the Ottoman Empire from World War I marked the end of an era in Europe. The events of the war had exposed the weaknesses of the traditional European powers and paved the way for the rise of new nation-states. The disintegration of the Austro-Hungarian Empire led to the creation of new nation-states such as Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and Austria. The exit of the Ottoman Empire from the war led to the creation of new nation-states such as Turkey, Iraq, and Syria. These events also had far-reaching consequences for the political and social structures of the region. The disintegration of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the exit of the Ottoman Empire from the war marked the end of the traditional empires that had dominated Europe for centuries. They paved the way for the rise of new nation-states based on ethnic and cultural identity, and they set the stage for the political and social upheavals that would define the 20th century.